Things could get worse and worse. Worse and worse and worse.
Is your daddy dead?
Overlord is the hope.
Tex? Are you okay? Sit up for a minute in the camera.
I know you're a strong woman, Chelsea, but even you've got your limits.
Quit stalling. I want to see the real you.
Okay. Hope you got your smelling salts handy.
Ooh, scary. You know, my brother had a mask just like that he wore to all the Halloween parties. He always won a prize.
Yeah? Well, after a hot bath, an apricot facial, and a little makeup, you're gonna be eating your heart out there, darling.
You probably forgot, but our date starts in exactly 12 minutes. Lucky for you, there is a 1-hour grace period.
I'm sorry, Chelsea, but I've been working like a dog.
Oh, has it been a hard day's night?
Yeah, but I feel fine, and I want to be your man, so please, please love me too.
Okay, enough of that. Now get going before I change my mind about the surprise I have in store for us.
All right. Well, I sure hope it's bowling, because I just got my ball waxed.
No, we're not going to the 10-Pin Palace, and we're not having chili dogs either. Now don't go back to sleep. Make yourself beautiful as quick as you can and zip on over here. I'll be waiting.
Sorry I'm late.
Well, at least you're here. Come on in, let me take your hat and your coat.
You know, in this light, you kind of look like a princess.
Well, thank you. So which one of the dwarves do I have with me tonight? Happy, grumpy, or dopey?
Sleepy, actually. But hey, I'll tell you what. I put on a fresh shirt. I'm wearing the tie you asked me to wear. Get a couple of drinks for me. I'm gonna perk right up, okay?
Well, you look like you've been working hard.
Oh, man, I'm exhausted. It's just that I can't seem to get a decent night's sleep.
You still having those nightmares?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I think if you kept a little bit more normal hours and you ate a decent meal every now and again, you might look and feel a lot better. And that's why we have an 8 o'clock reservation at the Golden Pagoda.
Well, since you got to pick the restaurant, maybe I could be in charge of the early evening entertainment. Because if we...
Tex, honey, listen. I don't want you to think that I'm not interested. I am. It's just that I think that we have some things that we really need to discuss first.
Such as?
I just think it would be nice if our relationship could go further.
What, like, all the way to second base?
No. All I'm talking about is the ability to commit to something that has the potential to make us both very happy.
It's about Sylvia, isn't it?
No, and it's not about marriage. It's about that one thing that prevents us from being close.
What does Sylvia have to do with you and me?
You tell me.
Okay. If you really want to know, I'll tell you. But keep in mind, 6 years ago, I was pretty much an idiot. The colonel had just fired me from his detective agency because I thought everything had to be done by the book. Literally. Well, being the naive optimist that I was, I decided to go into business for myself and become a big success. As it turned out, I was about to learn some even harder lessons. There I was in my shiny new office with all the trimmings, up to my ears in debt. Weeks had gone by and I was still waiting around for my first client to show up. I figured I'd have more work than I could handle in a big city like New San Francisco. And I was just starting to feel like a tiny bug on the windshield. Yeah, Chelsea, you wouldn't believe it, but I had a really nice office. Let me tell you about it. Nothing refreshes like cool, clear water. I just got this phone, and it came with a free 2-week subscription to the American Information Database. I can request data on my cases, and it will be faxed to my office immediately. I fill my ashtray with candy in hopes that visitors will forego the dangers of smoking in favor of good, wholesome, processed sugar. The PI Rules is my Bible. 20 tried and true aphorisms with plenty of blank pages to add your own. I've come up with 17 others so far. Extreme Sports Illustrated is pretty cutting edge. The last issue had an article on ultimate chess, 30 men and 2 women in a literal fight to the death. These are where my clients sit, hypothetically. I use this tape to measure my success. I've just got to dust it off and it'll work like a charm. I made these vases in my high school pottery class. It was the easiest B- I ever got. The colonel told me this book was for idiots, but I found these words of wisdom to be both inspiring and instructive. The guy who sold me my stone masks said either they were a fertility charm or would curse me to lifelong poverty and a violent death. Live dangerously, I say. Well, I've only got a few things in my file cabinets right now, but someday they'll be jam-packed. cabinet itself was dirt cheap, but I was surprised at how much they charged me for the drawers. Well, I've only got a few things in my file cabinets right now, but someday they'll be jam-packed. Cabinet itself was dirt cheap, but I was surprised at how much they charged me for the drawers. This is where letters of recommendation and thank yous from clients will go. Oops, this letter from the Colonel's been misfiled. Cabinet itself was dirt cheap, but I was surprised. Some people have power ties. I have power plants. These desk drawers are special because they're mine. The rich cherrywood finish of my new desk presents an image of stability and success to my... Just manuals for the phone and fax machine, you know, technical stuff. These desk drawers are special because they're mine. My fax machine's brand new. Now if I could just get a fax from someone other than my mom. This perpetual motion device just goes on and on and on. Reminds me of my crazy Uncle Cadmus. The lady on QVC said these commemorative Elvis plates were collectibles. I figure I got my retirement all taken care of. All right. Looks like the latest issue of Boyd's Life has arrived. I wonder what that crazy Boyd is up to this month. Oh, Boyd's Life. Annual fishing issue. I wonder what those twins are up to this month. Well, I'm not sure why, but this sculpture is called Every Day is Sunday to a Bird. This is the door to my walk-in closet and bedroom. This holds all 4 of my color-coordinated outfits. When it comes to fashionable attire, I believe in quality over quantity. I'm saving these bottles of cold duck for a special romantic dinner. All of the flavor and none of the mind-numbing alcohol. Humphrey Bogart, my one true inspiration. Ah, the Royal Game of India. In my book, Parcheesi, Twister, and Ms. Pac-Man are the triumvirate of competitive gaming. Well, 5 would be nice here.
Are you the private investigator?
Oh, that's what someone painted on the door.
I'll take that as a yes. I'd like to hire you, if you're available.
Well, it just so happens that I am. What can I do for you, Ms.
Linsky. But I'd prefer if you called me Sylvia.
Okay, Sylvia. I'm Tex Murphy. Have a seat.
I'm sorry if I disturbed your game.
Well, that's all right. I was losing anyway.
Would you like one?
No, actually, there's a rumor going around that those things are bad for you.
Lots of things are bad for you. That doesn't stop me from enjoying them.
So, why are you in the market for a PI?
My father, Carl Linsky, died a week ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
The police think it's suicide. I believe they're wrong.
Well, the police are usually pretty good in matters like this. I mean, I can't believe they'd make that big a mistake.
My father wasn't suicidal, and I'll pay you to prove it.
Okay, your father's name is... Sorry, was?
Carl Linsky.
Okay. Well, if we rule out the suicide, that leaves 3 other ways to go. I mean, it could have been an accident, or natural causes, or it could have been murder.
The police say that they have witnesses that saw him jump off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Well, I guess that rules out the first 2 then. So you think your father was murdered?
He didn't kill himself, I know it.
Look, if I take your case, you gotta understand there's no money-back guarantee. And it doesn't sound real promising.
I just don't know what else to do.
Who's the officer in charge?
The detective's name is Eve Clements.
All right, I'll go down and I'll talk to her. We can get together later and I'll tell you what I found out.
I'm staying at my father's house. Here's the address. Now, about the money up front. How much do you need? Because I haven't got a lot.
I'm running a special this week. If I decide not to take your case, there isn't going to be any charge.
Thank you. I'll be waiting.
It's nice to meet you, Sylvia.
Welcome to the American Information Database. We hope you enjoy your free 2-week trial subscription. Our new voice recognition interface makes requesting information more convenient than ever before. Simply tell us the topic you want researched. The request will be immediately transmitted to our central database. Any available information will be sent, usually within seconds, to your fax number. What topic would you like us to research? A search for information on Carl Linsky has been initiated. What other topic would you like us to research? A search for information on Detective Eve Clements has been initiated. What other topic would you like us to research? A search for information on Sylvia Linsky has been initiated. What other topic would you like us to research? A search for information on Tex Murphy has been initiated. What other topic would you like us to research? Thank you for using the American Information Database. Goodbye.
Do you have a fax?
My office having only a single exit is just one of the several fire code violations that made this place extremely reasonable.
It doesn't sound like a very promising start.
Well, like I said, I was running out of cash fast and was pretty desperate for a case. I knew Detective Clements and figured I'd pay her a visit. The only problem was she and the Colonel were pretty tight, and like I told you, I'd gotten the Colonel in some trouble not long before.
Get out!
You busy?
If it isn't Tex Murphy. Sold out any fellow PIs lately?
Oh, you bet. 3 this week alone.
You know, the last thing I need is some pansy PI wasting my time.
Yeah, bugs me too. It's good you've got a nice manly PI like myself here.
Like I said,
Well, you know, I'd be willing to trade a nice shoulder rub for some information.
give me one good reason why I should do any favors for you.
Listen, I just went into business for myself and I'm kind of relying on people like you to help me out.
All right, Murphy. You're just lucky you caught me in a charitable mood. But be quick about it. 6 witnesses saw Linsky take the dive. Their stories matched up and they all checked out.
And they all ID'd Linsky.
Not exactly. None of them were close enough to make an absolutely positive ID, but they described his general appearance, build, and clothing. Body wasn't found for a couple of days. Wasn't in the best shape when we fished it out of the bay, but we were able to make an identification using the personal effects found on the body. Coroner said the cause of death was drowning. No other injuries, though there was a scar back here. Linsky probably had surgery done recently. That's all. Standard stuff. Wallet, keys, and a suicide note neatly sealed in a Ziploc bag. I'd let you see it, but it's logged in as evidence. The handwriting, incidentally, was a 100% match. I'm willing to help you out because you're just getting started in the business. But don't abuse the privilege. As next of kin, she was notified and came in to identify her father's body. Didn't take it too well. One of the uniforms had to drive her home. The Colonel seems to think you've got the potential to be a good PI, once you wake up to reality and get your priorities straight.
So you're saying you're not going to take my case?
Well, I don't want to take your money if I can't help you.
Fine. Leave.
I'm just being straight up, okay?
If you won't help me, I can do what I can on my own. It certainly won't be the first time.
I charge $400 a day plus expenses.
I have $1,000. If you can prove it wasn't suicide, I'll give you $10,000 later.
It's a deal. Now you're gonna need to tell me everything you know so I can get started.
Oh, I will. Thank you, Tex.
Why don't you think your father would commit suicide?
He never would have considered it. He took good care of himself, and he often told me he was going to celebrate his 100th birthday by going skydiving.
Well, do you know anybody who'd want to see him dead?
No, no one. Everyone liked him. He was a kind man. I know the police confirmed that the note was in my father's handwriting, but it doesn't matter. I know it had to be a forgery. My father mentioned that he had had surgery performed, but he said it was minor and didn't say any more about it. She wasn't very friendly or helpful. I think she already made up her mind about my father's death. I found a scrap of paper here with the address to your office written on it, no name. If my father didn't contact you, he must have gone to see someone else who works in your building. Before I came to see you, I checked the directory in the lobby, but didn't recognize any of the names.
Detective Clement said you didn't pick up your father's personal effects.
I really don't remember much after they asked me to identify the body. An officer drove me home, and I haven't gone back.
Well, they won't release the personal effects to me, and I'm hoping I'll be able to go through them so I can see if there's any kind of lead.
When we're done, I'll go pick them up and meet you back here.
After I finished talking to Sylvia, she gave me a spare key and said I was free to look around the house.
Oh, Sylvia was playing you like a kazoo.
Well, more like a game of trouble, as I began to realize when I started poking around Linsky's house. This must lead to the bedroom.